The helicopter drops them at dawn. No extraction point, no resupply, no communication with command. 72 hours to cover 40 miles through jungle so dense that sunlight barely penetrates the canopy. They carry 80 pounds of equipment, 2 days of rations, and one objective: survive the terrain, evade the hunters, complete the mission. This is not a video game scenario. This is Ranger School's jungle phase in the forests of North Florida. And the soldiers who fail here never get the tan and black tab. The difference between warriors who can operate anywhere and soldiers who require favorable conditions is forged in environments designed to break them. Every major military power trains in jungles, but the United States has perfected the systematic application of environmental stress to build operators who function when terrain, weather, and exhaustion conspire to make success impossible. The jungle does not care about your training plan. The temperature reaches 95 degrees with 90% humidity by mid-morning. Sweat soaks through uniforms within minutes. The moisture never evaporates, it just accumulates. Skin becomes perpetually damp. Fungal infections develop in folds of skin. Boots never dry. Feet macerate inside wet socks. Immersion foot develops after 48 hours of constant moisture. The tissue breaks down. Walking becomes painful. But the patrol must continue. The jungle teaches the first lesson immediately. Your comfort is irrelevant. Your pain is irrelevant. The mission is the only thing that matters. Navigation in triple canopy jungle requires different skills than open terrain. GPS signals degrade under dense vegetation. The canopy blocks satellite acquisition. Map and compass become primary navigation tools, but terrain association is nearly impossible. Every direction looks identical. Dense vegetation. Fallen logs, vines hanging from trees, no clear landmarks, distance estimation fails. What appears to be 100 meters might be 300 meters once you account for the actual ground distance covered while moving around obstacles. Ranger students learn to navigate by microterrain features: a slight elevation change, a drainage area, the density of undergrowth. Movement speed in jungle averages 1 kilometer per hour for trained units. Untrained personnel might cover half that distance. The obstacle course at the Jungle Operations Training Center in Hawaii presents challenges that do not exist in temperate environments. Rope bridges cross ravines filled with water. The ropes are wet, hands slip. Maintaining grip requires constant tension. Upper body strength fails after the first few obstacles. Soldiers must continue using technique rather than strength. Cargo nets hang between trees 40 feet above the ground. The nets sway with every movement. Motion sickness affects some students, fear of heights affects others. The course requires completion while carrying full combat load: rifle, body armor, helmet, ammunition. The weight shifts center of gravity. Balance becomes difficult. Falls occur. Injuries happen. Students who cannot complete the course receive remedial training. Those who cannot pass after additional attempts do not continue. Live fire exercises in jungle terrain introduce complexity absent from range training. Fields of fire are measured in meters rather than hundreds of meters. The average engagement distance in jungle combat is less than 50 meters, often less than 20 meters. Visibility through vegetation is minimal. Target acquisition requires different visual search patterns. Soldiers learn to identify partial targets, a portion of uniform visible through leaves. Movement detected in peripheral vision, the sound of equipment making contact with vegetation. Shooting techniques adapt to close quarters. The rifle comes to a compressed ready position. Stock is high on the shoulder. Muzzle stays below eye level to maintain peripheral awareness. Shooting stance is more upright to see over low vegetation. The prone position used on open ranges is useless in jungle. You cannot see through ground-level vegetation while lying down. Ambush training in jungle environments teaches both execution and counter-ambush drills. The jungle favors ambushes. Limited visibility gives defenders advantage. Soldiers learn to identify likely ambush sites, trails through dense vegetation, stream crossings, any location where movement is channelized. Setting an ambush requires patience and noise discipline. Every sound carries in jungle, the crack of a twig, the rustle of fabric against leaves, the metallic click of a weapon's safety. Any of these sounds alerts prey. Students spend hours in ambush positions. Insects crawl on exposed skin. Ants bite. Mosquitoes swarm. Movement means detection. Detection means mission failure. The training builds tolerance for discomfort that transcends physical pain. Counter-ambush drills train immediate action when caught in a kill zone. The procedure is violent and decisive. Soldiers in the kill zone return fire immediately and assault directly into the ambush. This appears counterintuitive. The instinct is to take cover and return fire from a protected position, but analysis of historical ambushes shows that staying in the kill zone results in high casualties. The ambush is designed to maximize fire into a specific area. Remaining in that area means certain death. Assaulting through the ambush creates chaos, disrupts the ambusher's plan, and gets friendly forces out of the kill zone. Training ingrains this response until it becomes automatic. When rounds crack overhead, soldiers move toward the fire. Camouflage in jungle environments differs fundamentally from desert or woodland camouflage. The color palette is narrower. Everything is green, different shades of green but still green. Effective camouflage requires breaking up the human outline. The human form is recognizable even in dense vegetation. Straight lines do not occur naturally. Right angles do not occur naturally. The symmetry of the human face is distinctive. Camouflage face paint disrupts facial recognition. Dark colors go on high points. Forehead, nose, cheekbones, chin. Light colors go in shadows, eye sockets, under nose, under jaw. The pattern breaks up three-dimensional recognition. Vegetation is added to helmet and equipment. Local vegetation, not vegetation from a different area. The colors and shapes must match the immediate environment. Students learn to evaluate their camouflage from the enemy perspective. What does your silhouette look like from 20 meters away? What stands out? What draws the eye? Movement techniques in jungle require noise discipline that seems impossible to achieve. Every step risks making sound. Dry leaves crunch, branches snap, equipment rattles. Soldiers learn to move with deliberate foot placement. Feel the ground before committing weight. Test for solid footing. Avoid dry vegetation. Step over obstacles rather than pushing through them. Movement is slow, painfully slow. A distance that would take 5 minutes on open ground might take 30 minutes in jungle. But speed is not the objective. Undetected movement is the objective. Training measures success not by time but by detection rate. If the opposing force sees you, you failed regardless of how fast you moved. The Ranger course pushes these skills to maximum stress through sleep and food deprivation. Students average 3 to 4 hours of sleep per night during the jungle phase. Caloric intake is approximately 2,000 calories per day while energy expenditure exceeds 5,000 calories. The deficit accumulates. Weight loss averages 20 to 30 pounds over the 61-day course. The physical degradation is purposeful. The course evaluates leadership under maximum stress. Can you plan a mission when your brain is foggy from exhaustion? Can you motivate subordinates when you can barely function yourself? Can you maintain noise discipline when your body is screaming for rest? Patrol missions run continuously. Students rotate through leadership positions. One mission as patrol leader, next mission as assistant patrol leader, then squad leader, then team leader. Each position receives evaluation. The standards are absolute. A technically perfect patrol earns a passing grade. Any significant deficiency earns a failure. Lose accountability of personnel. Fail. Miss a reporting timeline. Fail. Compromise the patrol through poor noise discipline. Fail. Students need to pass a certain percentage of patrols to continue. The evaluation is not curved. It is not relative. Performance either meets standard or it does not. Water crossings present unique challenges in jungle training. Rivers are common in jungle terrain, some are shallow enough to wade, others require swimming. Equipment must stay dry. Weapons must remain functional. The technique depends on conditions. For shallow crossings, soldiers form a chain linking arms. The strongest soldiers anchor the ends. The chain moves across together. If one person loses footing, the chain provides stability. For deep crossings, several techniques exist. Poncho rafts keep equipment dry. Rope systems allow secure crossing of fast-moving water. Soldiers must know multiple techniques and select the appropriate method for each situation. Reconnaissance patrols train observation skills under difficult conditions. The mission is to gather information without being detected. Patrol moves to an observation position overlooking the target area. The position must provide visibility of the target while offering concealment for the observers. In jungle, finding such positions is difficult. Vegetation that conceals you also blocks your view. The compromise requires careful selection. Students learn to look for elevated positions, a hillside overlooking a valley, a position on the edge of a clearing. The observation phase lasts hours, sometimes days. Students document enemy positions, activity patterns, and defensive measures. The information gets recorded on range cards and in written reports. The reports follow strict formats: time, location, activity, unit size, equipment, direction of movement, just facts, no interpretation. Analysis happens at higher headquarters. Survival training addresses the reality that soldiers can become separated from their unit. Equipment can be lost. Injuries can occur. The jungle provides resources for those who know how to find them. Water is abundant but often contaminated. Soldiers learn water purification techniques. Boiling is most effective but requires fire and time. Iodine tablets work but taste terrible and require 30 minutes. Modern filters remove bacteria and protozoa. Plant materials can provide emergency water. Bamboo holds water in the sections. Vines can be cut to release drinkable water. But identification is critical. Some vines contain toxic compounds. Food is available but requires knowledge and effort. Edible plants exist but so do poisonous plants. The universal edibility test provides a method for testing unknown plants. Observe animals eating it, smell for strong or acidic odors, touch to skin and wait for reaction, touch to lips and wait, touch to tongue and wait, chew and wait, swallow small amount and wait. Each step requires hours. One mistake can cause severe illness or death. Animal protein is safer. Insects provide nutrition. Grubs, termites, crickets, fish can be caught with improvised methods. Small mammals can be trapped. But the effort required to obtain food often exceeds the calories gained. Survival situations prioritize rescue over comfort. Shelter construction in jungle must address rain and insects. Rain occurs daily in tropical environments. Exposure leads to hypothermia even in warm temperatures. A shelter needs a waterproof roof and elevated floor. Materials are abundant. Large leaves provide roofing. Bamboo provides structural elements. Vines serve as cordage. The shelter must keep rain off while allowing air flow. Poor ventilation leads to condensation inside the shelter. Students practice building effective shelters in under 30 minutes using only natural materials and a knife. Medical emergencies in jungle present unique challenges. Evacuation takes longer. Definitive medical care might be days away. Soldiers must provide extended care with limited supplies. Wound infections develop rapidly in hot, humid conditions. Aggressive wound cleaning is essential. Flushing with clean water, removing all foreign material, antibiotics if available, dressings changed frequently. Heat injuries occur despite acclimatization. Soldiers learn to recognize symptoms in themselves and others: headache, nausea, confusion, cessation of sweating. Treatment requires rapid cooling and hydration. Delays lead to organ damage or death. Insect-borne diseases are constant threats. Malaria, dengue fever, various parasites. Prevention through insect repellent and proper uniform wear is critical. Special operations units extend jungle training beyond basics. Navy SEALs conduct maritime infiltration followed by overland movement through jungle to targets. The combination of wet and jungle creates maximum physical stress. Army Special Forces teaches regional forces in jungle warfare. This requires cultural understanding and language skills in addition to tactical proficiency. The training locations vary. Central America, South America, Southeast Asia, Africa, each jungle environment has unique characteristics. Some have aggressive wildlife, some have extreme insect populations, some have particularly dense vegetation. Training in multiple environments builds adaptability. The obstacle courses designed for special operations selection push human limits. The Darby Queen obstacle course at Camp Darby measures physical courage and determination. Obstacles reach 60 feet high. Students climb ropes, traverse cables, walk narrow beams, all while exhausted from previous training. The course contains no safety equipment beyond minimal padding at landing areas. Falls cause injuries. Broken bones occur multiple times per class. Students who refuse obstacles due to fear receive counseling. Those who cannot overcome fear do not continue. The distinction is important. The course evaluates courage, not recklessness. A student who refuses because they recognize their physical limitations shows judgment. A student who refuses because they are afraid shows a limitation that will manifest in combat. Live fire battle drills integrate all skills into realistic scenarios. Units conduct movement to contact. They patrol through jungle terrain. The enemy force is not in predetermined locations. Contact occurs at random. When shots are fired, soldiers must immediately identify threat direction, return fire, and maneuver. The complexity is immense. Limited visibility makes threat identification difficult. Dense vegetation restricts movement options. Communication is difficult due to noise and vegetation blocking line of sight. Units that execute proper immediate action drills neutralize threats quickly. Units that hesitate suffer simulated casualties. The standards never lower to accommodate conditions. The mission timeline does not extend because the terrain is difficult. The accuracy requirement does not decrease because visibility is poor. The noise discipline standard does not relax because staying quiet is hard. This inflexibility is purposeful. Combat does not accommodate difficulty. The enemy does not grant extra time because conditions are unfavorable. Training harder than the expected combat conditions creates a performance buffer. When actual combat occurs, it feels manageable compared to training. The lessons learned in jungles transfer to other environments, but the inverse is not true. Soldiers trained in open terrain struggle in jungles. Soldiers trained in jungles adapt quickly to open terrain. The jungle forces mastery of fundamentals, navigation without landmarks, shooting at close range, movement without noise. These skills are universally applicable. The mental resilience developed through jungle training exceeds what other environments produce. If you can operate effectively in jungle after 3 days without sleep, insufficient food, and constant physical discomfort, most other challenges become manageable. The training detailed here is happening right now at bases across the United States and around the world. Rangers are moving through the forests of Florida. Special Forces students are in the jungles of Central America. Marine Raiders are training in Southeast Asia. The standards remain constant. The environments vary, but the mission is the same. Build operators who can function anywhere under any conditions. If this deep dive into the most challenging training environments gave you a new appreciation for what separates elite units from standard forces, subscribe now because we have more content coming that goes even further inside military preparation. Next video breaks down Arctic warfare training where soldiers operate in -40-degree temperatures. The one after that covers underwater demolition training for Navy SEALs. Tell us in the comments what extreme environment training you want to see next. Desert, mountain, urban, your suggestions determine our content. Hit that like button if you learned something new about what it actually takes to become a warrior who can fight in the worst places on Earth. Check out our other videos covering advanced weapons systems, special operations tactics, and the technology that gives American forces the advantage. The training continues. So does our mission to show you what really happens behind the scenes.